Mr. Lubega, when did you realize that the Electoral Commission was not competent? Before the election or after the election? Because we are having this story in Africa very often, whereby you have people going for presidential elections. When they are not successful, they claim fraud and they accuse the winning party that the Electoral Commission was not fair or was not competent. When did you realize yourself and the other opponents of Mr. Museveni that the Electoral Commission was not fair?
Since 1996 elections, 2001 we indicted that Electoral Commission into the courts of law, just as it was before, just as it was in 2006. For 3 consecutive elections we thought this Electoral Commission was wrong. We took it to court. We won the cases, but only for people to say, anyway, whatever had happened, had happened. But we have been patient enough, thinking that Uganda is our country. We've gone through a lot with the Obotes, with the Idi Amin. We do not want our people and our country to go through what it went through during the Obotes, Amin, and now the 4 elections of Museveni. We thought we don't have to go and kill people because of our actions and irresponsibilities. That's why we have been stuck to giving democracy a chance. And Museveni having been a product of a rigid elections, of despotic regimes which refused to listen to the people, we thought he had learned a lesson. Our neighbors have done the same, including Mobutu, Bashir now, and the rest of our neighbors in the Great Lakes region, leave alone what is happening in the rest of Africa, and probably the other friends of his in the world. We thought those were lessons enough for him to learn that if you want to serve your country beyond self, you can just help the people get an electoral commission that is for the people, not for the regime or an individual or family like it is today. That we could also have all stakeholders given the opportunity to say what they think is right for the good of our country and for the good of our elections.
Thank you. Mr. Lubega, and now it is too late to change the results in Uganda. Museveni has been inaugurated for another term. What next?
Yeah, our rejection of the elections 2011, his intransigence on wanting to keep a fraudulent, unconstitutional, and illegal electoral system, and the results that came through is one of the deepest crises our country is going through. What has happened is that it has sparked off other crises in the process, leave alone what the world is going through as a recession. Now, what next is that the people now feel they have been left with no option but for fighting together for democratic change and for democratic governance. And indeed, as we speak today, like the situation is in Bahrain, Syria, and elsewhere, and that it has been in the so-called Arab Spring, the people are now dying on the streets. And Museveni is not ashamed to kill his own people with members, with all weapons of different sorts, incarcerating innocent citizens, and also attacking the institutions of democracy, like the media, hitting them left and right, and making some of them lose their lives. This is one thing we are not going to go on under our watch. And this is one thing we want the international community and every sympathizer to the tyrannized Ugandan population to fight for the rights of Ugandans, including electoral democratic rights.
Okay, now that the situation is what it is, what are the steps you are going to take to make sure that there is change in Uganda? You went through the elections and you were not successful. What you are hoping to happen, let's say, in the next 6 months in Uganda?
Out of pain, a lot of pain, given what is happening to the Ugandan opposition, to the Ugandan media, to the Ugandan democratic institutions, we have not given up on our country. Actually, today's function is a manifestation of how we shall go all the full length to ensure that we can work together and win together. And indeed, as many people have already witnessed in Uganda, members of the opposition, members of the civil society institutions, members of the business community, members who are sympathizing from all walks of life are coalescing together to create a strong and robust pro-democracy kind of movement or solidarity that is going not only to give Museveni sleepless nights, but also to make sure that that despotic regime is out any time from now.
Thank you.